Morning. Morning. Thank you very much in advance for your attention this morning. I appreciate all of your cooperation through our career symposium activities this morning. I hope you gained something from that, our 10th and 11th graders, 9th graders. I hope you enjoyed the opportunity to have a little bit of decompression time, and I hope that was beneficial for you as well. We rarely have the opportunity to gather with as many of you in here as we have now. We obviously have 3 grades in here. 9th, 10th, and 11th graders are with us today. And we're here for something that we feel is very important as far as your civic experience. And that is our student council elections. We have a number of candidates this morning that you'll hear from, all of whom have chosen to take the initiative to run for student government office because they want to make your school experience better. That is their goal. All of you at the end of the day will have the decision, not literally at the end of the day, but at the end of this process, will have the decision on where you choose to provide your vote. You will offer your vote for the candidates that you feel are best prepared to serve the Harriton community. However, regardless of where your vote goes, all of these candidates deserve your respect. What they are doing takes a lot of courage. Standing in front of 900 of your peers and talking is not the easiest thing in the world to do. So please be mindful of that. And just like in the political season that we're all in, which has not always been civil, as you all have witnessed, has not always been civil. Unlike that, we're going to model civility throughout. That even when we disagree, or a candidate is not your candidate of choice, we'll model civility towards them and expect civility from them. That's part of who we are as a Harriton community. And I would be disappointed if we produced anything less than that today. So please, give your attention during this time for our candidates. And our moderator for today is none other than our current student government president, someone who's provided exemplary leadership in his time. I'm privileged to turn the program over to Mr. Willie Marks.
Hello. Good stuff. Good morning, Harriton. As you know, today are student council elections. I know some of you might think that student council is not that important, but I would like to ask all of you here today, if you didn't think the president was an important position, may I ask who would hold the elections so that we could elect next year's president? That's a joke, a bad one, but still a joke. Of course, I'm kidding. So, student council acts as a liaison between administration and the student body. This year, officers have been active members on Lower Merion School District Pathway teams, have met with both school level and district level administration. Student council acts as the organization that puts on school events. This year we brought you Quidditch, 2 pep rallies so far, and most importantly, Mr. Harriton, which raised over $19,000 this year for charity and to go back to our schools. Student council also acts as the familiar faces that introduce the incoming freshmen and are on the announcements every morning. Lastly, the student council officers select the student council for next year during an interview process. Please take voting seriously this year. In the 3 elections that I've been at school for so far, not once but twice has 1 vote been the difference between 2 candidates. That means if 1 person more had voted, there would be a tie. And if 1 person had changed their mind, it would have been a different person who assumed the officer position. So basically, every vote counts. While you probably will not get officers quite as good as me and my cabinet, as Noah and Jake are here somewhere, please vote for who you think will be the best candidates to make student council only a little bit worse. The first officer position is Sergeant at Arms. They focus on the recognition of Harriton students, planning the annual icebreaker retreat for student council, maintaining an open line of communication between student council and other Harriton clubs and athletics, and most noticeably, they run Music Fridays. First to give a speech will be Junior Davis Berg.
Thanks a lot, guys. So for those of you who were there, I hope you all enjoyed the career symposium. Before we move on, I want to tell you about one more job, and that job is the sergeant at arms. So first things first, I'm going to answer the question that's on everyone's mind. What exactly is a sergeant at arms? One of my chief duties next year was to make sure that every student, no matter what your grade, background, or interest is involved with the student council process. That's known as student outreach. As someone of varied interest myself, I understand that the beauty of our school comes from its eclectic student body, and I would strive every day to promote that. This means I would work tirelessly to support the clubs and teams that make this school such a great place. Whether you're an artist or an athlete, a chess player or a runner, I'm on your team. In order to promote this culture, I will open up the channel between student leaders and the administration. If you have an idea that you think deserves attention, I can personally guarantee you that you will be heard and your opinion will be valued. Another duty of the Sergeant at Arms is to coordinate and plan student council-sponsored events. One of my first objectives as an officer would be to change the experience of a school sporting event. From now on, not only would there be t-shirt cannons involved, that's right, there would be tailgates, grill outs, and overall the experience would be improved. Furthermore, I would use my experience with Mr. Harriton to not only bring you the best show yet, but to nail down on fundraising and support those who need it the most. This year, we raised nearly $20,000 to support the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, amongst other charities. Not only is that more than double what Lower Marion raised this year, but I think we can do even better. At this point, I'm sure you're starting to realize that the Sergeant at Arms is a pretty big job. And it is. But before I leave you today, I want you to rest assured that I am the man for that job. A few months ago, I raised $3,500 to help fund a school in Haiti. Next year, I want to bring that skill to the Student Council. This year, I also work with my friend Ben Barnett, the current Sergeant at Arms, to keep the music playing every Friday to help you get through your day. Next year, I want to make that even better than before. As I mentioned, I participated in Mr. Harriton, and I learned what an incredible experience it could be. Not only for the participants, but for every single person in the student body. Next year, I want to bring that energy to every single event we do, and more. With your vote, we can accomplish all this and more. So I thank you all so much for your support. Don't forget to vote Davis Burke. Thank you.
Thank you, Davis. Up next is freshman Robert Cho Fleming.
Let me tell you a story. When school started, the one piece of advice that was drilled into my head was to get involved. My advisor said it, my freshman mentor said it, and heck, at some point my cat might even said it. Though I'm not so sure about that last one. So I decided to join student council. Now you may be asking, why did I choose to join a club that this some year seems to do nothing more than run a few pep rallies with Mr. Harriton? Well, I joined for the same reason that I'm running for Sergeant at Arms, and the same reason I chose Harrison. There's a different energy among the Rams. What is this energy? It's Music Friday. It's the herd. It's our extracurricular and athletic opportunities, and it's the intellectual diversity of the Harriton student body. If you vote for me, I will showcase Harriton students' abilities in ways both big and small. I have 3 great ideas that will improve the energy and passion here at Harriton. Better communications between students and council, Your Choice Music Friday, and Restaurant Fridays. First, communications. In addition to Ms. Marcusen's afternoon updates, morning announcements, and that email for the Late Bird Special, we could have a weekly message along with a Google survey for topics close to students' interest. Secondly, Music Friday can and should be fun. Instead of the current system of Guess the Theme, which a lot of us don't even do, I would like to introduce a Your Choice Music Friday. Just imagine hearing your favorite songs, artists, and even a song maybe composed by you on the hallways on Fridays. Thirdly, I want to introduce a new tradition. Are you tired of running to Chipotle every lunch and learn, only to come back to find Mr. Rothberg guarding the entrance? Well, I want to bring that stuff to you, or with Restaurant Fridays. Would it not be awesome if a restaurant, say, Sankey or Chipotle, came to the school and carried us the last Friday of each quarter? Is this tough? Sure, but I already talked with administration about this, and anything worth doing takes effort, drive, and collaboration. I believe I have these qualities and would like the opportunity to prove that as your Sergeant at Arms. So remember, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. Vote Robert Cho Fleming for Sergeant at Arms. Thank you.
Thank you, Robert. Next position to give their speeches will be treasurer. The treasurer is in charge of managing expenses, maintaining the budget, and making charitable contributions. The first to give their speech will be Junior Catherine Liu.
Hi, I'm Catherine Liu, and I hope to be your next treasurer. Having been an active member of Student Council for 3 years and co-chair of the Finance Committee this year, which the treasurer runs, I've developed a comprehensive understanding of what this position entails. One responsibility is to establish Student Council's budget, keeping track of incomes and expenses. And I understand finances. I know that MOM is actually an acronym for made of money. And you could say I'm pretty good with numbers. I know that 6 out of 5 people have difficulty with fractions. Other treasurer responsibilities include organizing Mr. Harriton fundraising, ticketing and scoring, and managing the cookie grant for Harriton clubs, all of which I've been involved with for the past 3 years. Next year, I plan to place laptop chargers in the library and to open the breakfast table during the second half of the school day. Because, as we all know, an empty stomach can only lead to one terrifying thing: a moody teenager. In regard to Mr. Harriton, I'd like to expand our fundraising efforts by planning more events starting earlier in the year, such as give-back nights at local restaurants. This past winter, I raised over $25,000 for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, demonstrating that I have the experience necessary to successfully lead the Finance Committee if elected as your next treasurer. I want to hear all of your ideas and concerns too, because your voices are the ones that truly matter. So when you're casting your vote, remember, a vote for Catherine Liu is a vote for you, and you, and you, but not you. Just kidding, especially you. I'm Catherine Liu, and I hope that you will allow me the opportunity to represent you with your vote today. Thank you.
Thank you, Catherine. First, please try not to make any loud sounds in the middle of their speech other than a genuine laugh, okay? But thank you. Up next is sophomore Jack Mendelson.
First off, I would like to thank the Academy for giving me... Oh, wait, hold on. Wrong speech. Just chilling in Cedar Rapids, no. Just so I don't get fined, no. I'm gonna let you finish, no. Okay, here we are, sorry. Hi, I'm here on behalf of Jack Mendelson for Treasurer, a subsidiary of the Make-A-Wish Foundation, working with students who have developed an early form of senioritis, known as sophomoritis, specifically those students named Jack Mendelson. Jack has requested, as his final wish, that you, the Harriton students, vote him to be your student council treasurer. Of course, this will not be a one-way deal. Because he will no longer be doing his schoolwork as a side effect of his sophomoritis, he'll have much more time to focus on you, the Harriton student. In exchange for your vote, Jack promises that as treasurer, he will make some huge improvements, and I mean huge improvements, to make Harriton as great again as possible. Ponder these scenarios. Scenario 1, it's learn 2, or lunch 2, as you call it, and you finished all your food. You know what really hit the spot right now? Some nice Girl Scout cookies. But wait, there aren't nearly enough Girl Scouts at Harriton to fulfill the needs of the vast amount of cookie-craving high schoolers. The supply doesn't meet the demand. Thanks, Mr. Schweitzer. Luckily, there's a large supply not so far away. What Jack wants to do as treasurer is allow Girl Scouts from Belmont Hills, Gladwin, and Penn Valley to be allowed to leave Girl Scout cookies at Harriton, which will in turn be sold to you, the Harriton students. It's a win-win. We get cookies, and we also help fund our local community Girl Scouts. Scenario 2. It's the French Revolution. You'll end up becoming proletariat, who wants to improve your rights that have been settled by those caviar-sipping bourgeoisie. You know what you're going to need, right? A class 4. Exactly. As treasurer, Jack wants to start an all-grade class competition. Freshmen versus sophomores versus juniors versus seniors, in the ultimate battle royale of spirit competitions. Throughout the year, we'll keep track of each grade's performance at events, including pep rallies, powder puff, Quidditch, attendance at school-sponsored events, overall spirit, and much more. At the end of each quarter, points will be tallied and a prize awarded to the winning grade. This will improve school spirit and show those bourgeoisie swine who's boss. Go, you peasant, go! So please, if you want Girl Scout cookies, better school spirit, and more fundraisers, not only for charity, but also to provide more funding for Harriton's many clubs, vote Jack Mendelson to be your Harriton High School Student Council Treasurer. And quick, before his sophomoritis develops into full-blown senioritis. Thank you. I treasure your vote.
Thank you, Jack. Next, the secretary position will give their speeches. The secretary is charged with creating and distributing all internal and external communications, including but not limited to email, websites, or any newsletters. The communications committee that they run publicizes events and creates all artwork. First to give their speech will be Junior Sonia Gronville.
Hi, Harriton. My name is Sonia Grunewald, and I'm running to be your next student council secretary. One reason that I can give you to vote for me is that I understand our student body very well. I ask the same questions that you do. Why do I feel winded after walking up 3 flights of stairs to math class? Why does the silent study room always leave me so speechless? Anyways, you should vote for me because I have both experience and some great ideas to give you, yes you, an even better high school experience. One of the most important jobs of the secretary is to chair the Mr. Harriton Art Committee. And I've spent countless hours after school working on Mr. Harriton Art and shadowing current secretary, Noah Carpel, to see how best to manage the process and be a school leader. But don't worry, I didn't take notes during his announcements. On top of this, I have a passion for planning, which comes with a knack for organizing large groups of people to get the job done. My planner, my best friend, knows exactly how seriously organized I am, which I would say is the most important skill that a secretary needs. On another note, I always hear people complain about how our school has no spirit. And I think that what we need as a student body is both a change in attitude and some more numbers at games and events. I propose more spirit activities, such as forming class wars, making a huge spirit video, and pushing our spirit weeks to go above and beyond. Let's all bleed red together. As head of communications, I will push for more effective publicity tactics, such as weekly emails to communicate with the student body what Harriton-related activities they can attend that upcoming week. Too often, I hear of students who just aren't aware of what they're missing out on. I want our Harriton community to grow into something that we can all love to belong to. I want to see our herd and nerd numbers triple at school events. I have huge expectations for what this school could become. And if elected, I know that our school would have similarly large expectations for what its council officers can accomplish. And you can all count on me to give 110%. I'm qualified, I'm spirited, and I'm ready. Vote Sonia for secretary. 1 vote equals 3 prayers. Thank you. Stay lovely, Harriton.
Thank you, Sonia. Idi Maruka is next.
Hey Harriton, I'm Ibby Maruka and I'm running to be your next student council secretary. So when I started to write the speech, I asked my brother, Matt, for help, but when I went to read what he wrote, it was all in Serbian. I guess he's been in Bosnia too long. I'm going to start off by talking about my experience with student council. While this was my first official year on council, I've attended all meetings for the communications committee and Mr. Harriton Art Club since my freshman year, and I even worked backstage at Mr. Harriton as a freshman. This commitment shows just how passionate I am and how much I love helping out. I'm an extremely active member of council, attending all meetings and events and helping whenever possible. This year, along with shadowing our current secretary, Noah, and actively participating in communications, I also ran the Mr. Harriton Candygrams, worked backstage at the show, and I designed the Mr. Harriton 2016 logo with help from VP candidate Jake Grown. Now you know my qualifications, but there are still questions that need to be answered. Like, how are we going to make Mr. Harriton even better next year? Why don't all of Harriton's activities get the attendance they deserve? Why does only around half the student body turn out for Spirit Week? Why aren't we allowed to have Costco muffins at the breakfast table anymore? That last one aside, I'm confident these are problems I can help solve. By By taking advantage of social media and starting a Harriton activities calendar, the goal will be to increase attendance at events and better communicate things to the student body. As a member of multiple activities at Harriton, I know how much our school has to offer and how every sport and club deserves to have people at their events. As secretary, I also hope to add to the events we have by starting activities like Raid and Hallway Wars, and to make the 10th annual Mr. Harriton bigger and better than ever by contributing to new fundraising ideas and getting the entire student body involved to help with the cause, as well as creating an incredible set and artwork for the show. I genuinely believe that I would do a great job as your secretary, and I care a lot about our student government. I'm experienced, I'm creative, and I'm confident that I can handle anything thrown my way. So vote for me, Ivy Maruka, for your 2016-2017 Student Council Secretary. Thank you.
Thank you, Ibby. She's a junior, by the way. I missed out on saying that when I introduced her. Next, the vice presidential candidates will attempt to persuade you to vote for them. They chair the events committee. The purpose of this committee is to conceive, plan, and implement all student events with the goal of creating a more unified student body. First up will be Junior John Diamond Riders.
Hello everyone, I'm John Diamond-Ravich and I'm running for Student Council Vice President. Now, with this speech, I hope to do three things. I want to tell you my qualifications, show you my ideas, and finally, tell you why none of my ideas actually matter. So John, why are you qualified to be Vice President? Well, that's a great question, John. I have a lot of leadership experience in the school. I hold officer positions in clubs like World Language Club and No Place for Hate. I've been an active student council member for 2 years, and I participated in all events such as Quidditch and Mr. Harriton. But most importantly, I'm the only candidate who has shadowed current Vice President Kobe Levitt for the entire year, not just during the shadowing period. I was always there, watching, learning, evolving, as Kobe ran into Mr. Harriton, battled administration, and filed a restraining order against me. As Vice President, I will be in charge of events, the most important of which will be Mr. Harriton. I attended every Mr. Harriton practice this year, even though they begged me to stay away. Please, John, you're too good at dancing. Your soldier boy is too poetic, the contestants would say, but I didn't listen. I was there the first day of practice, and I was backstage the night of the show. I know firsthand what it takes to put on a good performance. With all this experience, I know exactly what it takes. But that being said, there's still room for improvement. We're asking off questions for the Q&A section, having a Mr. Harriton contestant car wash, and allowing students to suggest themes and increase their input will not only improve the show, but increase the amount of money that we can fundraise. I also want to start an annual Harriton Color Run that will be held on the school track. It'll be open to both public and students. With all proceeds going to charity of your choice. It'll be just like Dayglow, except running. I also plan to implement live music Fridays, where students can sign up to perform in the JSL or RAM lobby during lunch and learn. Now, as obtainable, realistic, and just amazing as my ideas are, they should not be the reason you vote for me. I will not limit myself to the ideas that I've mentioned in this speech. If I'm your Vice President, I will try to accomplish all goals that will improve this school, regardless of whether I presented them or not. When you vote for Vice President, it's important that you don't vote for the candidate with the flashiest ideas. You should vote for the candidate who has the best ability to make these ideas a reality. You should vote for the candidate who has the most experience in leadership. You should vote for the candidate who has the best ability to represent the student body. I'm proud to say that I'm that candidate. Thank you for your time, your hearts, and your votes. Don't forget to vote John Diar for Vice President.
Thank you, John. Next to the podium will be Junior Jake Roan.
My name is Jake Roan, and I'm running to be your Student Council Vice President. Last year, when I was in your shoes, I know I continually asked myself one question. Why should I vote for you? Well, I'm going to give you several reasons why I'm the obvious choice to be your next Vice President. First, I'm more than qualified to fill Kobe's shoes as Vice President. One of the most important jobs of the Vice President is to be in charge of Mr. Harriton. Not only did I shadow Kobe throughout the entire process, but I also worked backstage during the show and sold ads with Treasurer Jake Diamond-Ravich. I also did logo design and painting for Secretary Noah Carpel's art committee. And as you can see, I know all the aspects of the show and look forward to making Mr. Harriton's 10th anniversary the best show to date. When you vote for me, in addition to the judges scoring next year, the audience will be able to vote to help determine the winner as well. Second, As many of you have witnessed, there is typically low attendance at school-sponsored and sporting events. When you elect me, there will, without a doubt, be huge attendance increase due to this new policy. I will be installing an all-new raffle system where, for every school-sponsored event attended, you will receive one raffle ticket in a raffle for a free pair of reserved front row Mr. Harriton tickets. The last thing I want to be sure to highlight today is my biggest idea for next year. High School Olympics. Think elementary school junior Olympics, but bigger, better, and no classes. This will be a day where each of you are split into one of 4 teams, regardless of grade, and compete against one another in fun events ranging from the 100-meter dash to an egg toss. If anyone or all of these ideas sound remotely interesting to you, then don't hesitate to vote for me, because as you all know, Rome wasn't built in a day, but you can elect them in one. Thank you.
Thank you, Jake. That concludes the vice presidential speeches. The next position will be president. For this position, we have 3 candidates, not just 2. The president chairs the Students' Rights Committee, the Technology Committee, runs all meetings, and is the chief officer of Student Council. First to speak is Junior Ben Barnett.
Good morning, Harriton. My name is Ben Barnett, and I want to be your next Student Council president. Before I tell you about my plans for next year, I would like to take a minute to congratulate all of the candidates that have come this far in the election. There is no doubt that they are all gifted student leaders that this school is lucky to have. That being said, I feel there are a few reasons why I'm the best man for the job. One of the main differences that sets me apart from my fellow candidates is that I'm the only person on this stage who has served as a student council officer. This means I put in more hours working late nights on Mr. Harriton, more hours reaching out to the student body, and more hours contemplating the problems that face our school in the upcoming year. Furthermore, I work alongside our current student council president, Willie Marks, to develop a keen understanding of the job and all the opportunities that come with it. However, it would be foolish of me to suggest that a leader should be judged purely on his or her experience. A leader must also have a strong vision for the school as well as an understanding of the wants and needs of the student body. And when it comes to a strong vision, ladies and gentlemen, you can rest assured I have some great ideas for the school. First, I would like to increase the communication between the student body and the student government. To make this happen, I would like to send out a monthly email where you, the student body, would be able to voice your opinions of the school. Next, I would like to implement a system where you would be able to pre-order your sandwiches for lunch. This would decrease the lunch lines and increase the amount of time eating and enjoying with your friends. School spirit is also something I would like to work on. Throughout my term as Sergeant at Arms, I've already brought to you 2 Spirit Weeks along with 2 pep rallies. I plan on bringing you a 3rd Spirit Week this year, with the main event being the Wing Bowl. As president, I would make sure to maintain 3 Spirit Weeks, Wing Bowl, and the possibility of a spring fair, which I've already been looking into. But Wing Bowl isn't the only thing I've got cooking, Harriton. Lastly, I would like to increase the amount of money raised by Mr. Harriton from $20,000 to $25,000. Given that this upcoming year will be the 10th anniversary, I plan on seizing every opportunity for fundraising by implementing a telephone. So, Harriton, when the emails are sent out later today, and you're contemplating which candidate to vote for, just remember, Ben Barnett, most experienced, real attainable ideas, and a love for our school. Thanks, Harriton, have a great day.
Thank you, Ben. Up next will be Junior Lorenzo Salon.
Good morning, Harriton. My name is Lorenzo Salon, and I'm running to be your next Student Council President. I would like to start off with a statement that I've heard from many students around Harriton. It goes something like this: Student Council has no real power to create change. So, to help illustrate the situation, I'm going to use a little metaphor. Right now, I invite everybody to close your eyes and picture yourself all alone. In front of you is a huge mountain range, and your goal is to carve a path straight through the mountains in order to reach the other side. And all you have is a small pickaxe that will help you in your quest. Now open your eyes. Do you think you were successful? The mountain, in this case, represents the issues and challenges that face the student body of Harriton. And the person trying to carve a path represents Student Council. The solution to this problem is right in front of you, the student body of Harriton. If more students had input on the current issues, the more effective solutions will be discovered. That is why next year, I plan to hold Student Council run events where the entire student body is present and able to contribute their own ideas. This is one way that the divide between the student council and the student body can be closed. These events could produce the answers to many of the problems at Harriton. Now imagine you are back in front of that mountain, but instead you are surrounded by all your brilliant friends and peers. Doesn't seem as scary before, right? I believe that every student at Harriton has something to offer the school, and that united, there is no obstacle, problem, issue, or mountain that can stand in our way. So if there is one message that you take away from today, it is that together we can accomplish anything. But it will take every single one of us to do so. Thank you, and remember to vote for Zoe.
Thank you, Lorenzo. Next will be Hunter Sporn, who's also a junior. However, he's currently at FBLA and will not be able to attend today, and so he has a video of his speech.
Looks like we have a big turnout today. Good morning. Allow me to reintroduce myself as Hunter Sporn. I'm coming to you live from the future. Where I am, the year is 2020. So what's happened the past 4 years? Well, Kanye West is now our president, Kim Kardashian first lady, and wearing Yeezys is now required by law. Ever since I lost the presidential election in 2016, things have really gone downhill at Harriton. It all began when the new council bankrupted the district by buying thousands of rolls of new toilet paper. With no funds, Harriton was forced to shut down. And without education, we're now all living on the hard streets of Gladwin. Shortly after, Mr. Ralph was given a deal for LM to annex Harriton, and he then sold it to Walmart. It's been my dream to go back and convince you to rethink your decision. I'll give you the speech I would have given, so maybe, just maybe, you can change the course of history. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a privilege to stand before you today, a candidate for the office of president. We need a leader who has proven experience, but also great judgment. I'm proud to say that I'm the only candidate who's been in the council all of the past 3 years. The council knows me as the single biggest fundraiser, and as Jake DR's finance co-chair this past year, we shattered fundraising records. Next year, as your president, I'm determined to raise the bar, devoting more money to charities and our fantastic events, clubs, and sports teams. Why does everyone love delayed openings, though? Imagine if you could sleep later every single day. You deserve a vote on the issue. I'm the only candidate in favor of a later start time. I've talked to the administration, and they say it can happen if all of you show your support for it. And spirit, more sleep equals more spirit. If I don't fulfill my promises, feel free to impeach me. When I'm president, you will have a bigger say in how the school is run. Today is the beginning of the revolution. The revolution to feel the sporn. Open your computers, check your school email for the first time this year, and vote experience, vote ambition, and vote for a Harriton that will exist in the future. Together we can, and together we will. Vote Sporn to be your next president. Thank you. Love you, Harriton.
Thank you to Hunter and to all the candidates. Could we get one more round of applause for everyone who ran today? So that concludes the speeches for today. A Google form will be sent to your email later today allowing you to vote. Voting will close at 2:40 tomorrow. Please understand the importance of each and every vote, and I really encourage you to get involved in the political process. Also, please acknowledge and do not necessarily vote for the candidate just who made you laugh the most, but for the person who you think would run the school the best, or run student council the best. Thank you so much, and I'm handing it off to Dr. Osler.
Thank you very much, Willie, and thank you to all of you. Very impressed with the candidates. Obviously, they were prepared with their speeches. They have good ideas for the school, and they carry themselves with a lot of class and dignity through this process. And I really appreciate that level of class that they brought. So let's please give the candidates one more round of applause. Now, for this process to effectively work, you have to check your email. You've got to respond to that. Your school email. Your votes do matter. Student council officers do have a voice. I speak with them regularly. They bring ideas to the administration regularly, and their ideas have helped shape the school culture. So please take it seriously. Give yourself some time to think about the decision, but make a decision that you feel is the best interest of the Harriton school community. I greatly appreciate all of your attention this morning. We are going to very deliberately exit and begin Learn 1. We'll open doors on all sides, so please access the doors on both sides. Thank you for your attention this morning.